What do men want? Wow, what do men want? The big joke is that, what do women want? That was Freud's big question, right? It's like, what do women want? We even have this movie with Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt in it called What Women Want. That seems to be the big deal. But I think the bigger mystery is, what do men want? When I ask a group of women, what do men want? The top three from women have always been sex, food, and football. Now, it could be another sport, but sex, food, and football. That's all men want. That's all they care about. And I got to tell you, that is like so far from the truth. Hello, I'm Dr. Debbie, and I've been helping men, women, and couples grow together for more than 25 years. Now it's your turn to learn what I learned and taught as a couples counselor and university professor. You are the wise woman, and this is your personal development podcast packed with instant encouragement and practical tips. And men can learn about women too, because this is a safe place where women are valued and men are respected. We talk about biology, socialization, behavior, emotions, communication, and connection, because men and women are different. Always have been, always will be, and that's a very good thing. If you ask a man, he'll tell you he wants peace. And he does. And he also wants sex and food and football. But that's not the only thing that he wants. In fact, that's not his deepest need. In fact, his deepest need is for his wife's attention. That simply means that when he speaks, you stop talking and you listen to what he has to say. And when he pauses, you wait to see if he says something more. You don't talk over him. You don't do the girl back and forth stuff, because you don't realize it. But when you start talking about yourself, when you're talking to your husband, he thinks you don't care about him. What a crazy thing is that, huh? Because that's the way we women talk. We go back and forth. We have these conversations where you share something, I share something. We give our opinions. We wrestle with our emotions, and we're good to go. But husbands are not like that. Husbands want and desperately need our attention. They don't get it anywhere else. They don't get the attention that they need from anyone else in life. You're the one. Now, the dog gives them attention, and that might be why so many men love having a dog and will pet the dog before they say hello to their wife. It's kind of a sad scenario, huh? But that attention is so incredibly crucial for a man, and men are starved for attention. I think that's also why a lot of men end up having an affair, is because they are getting that attention from someplace else. And before they know it, now they've fallen in love with somebody. And I say fallen in love because it's an infatuation, but not like the kind of love that you have with your husband. But wouldn't it be cool if you could meet his emotional needs in a way that he couldn't wait to get home? So attention is one of those. The second one is actually affection. I went through a period of probably a year and a half where I think almost every man in his late 30s or early 40s would tell me, she never touches me anymore. I mean, they use those same words. It's like I felt like somebody was trying to tell me something, right? She never touches me anymore. And they weren't talking about sex. They were talking about the fact that they felt like their wives treated them like they had cooties. They just didn't have that affection for them. Now, women in that same age bracket tend to be overextended and exhausted, emotionally drained from their day, especially if they have children, and even more so if they work and have children. When women think about the man, remember, they think that he wants, that his number one thing that he wants is sex, and so she gives him affection. Her fear is that he's going to read into that she's available for sex, and she may not be. But that's not the kind of affection I'm talking about. I'm talking about kindness, kind words, a gentle touch, a gentle kiss. And you can kiss your husband on the cheek. That is just so sweet. And touching him on the arm when you're talking to him, or, brushing against him as you pass by. Don't treat him like he has cooties. Those little tiny dollops of affection are so incredibly powerful. In fact, instead of calling him to come to dinner, go to where he is. Put your hand on his shoulder and tell him dinner's ready. And then walk away. He may not get up and come right away, but it will register. I got to tell you, I have women experiment with this all the time, and the results are phenomenal. They always come back and say, I can't believe my husband's response. But it's also really interesting to hear the husband's response, because it registers with their brain that someone was kind to them. It registers with their brain that they were touched, and it starts to have an immediate impact. Really want to encourage you to experiment with that one. See how it goes, and drop me a note in the comments below, because I want to hear from you. If you don't want to comment below, you can always send me a direct message. You can message me through Facebook or Instagram, or you can go to my website. I'll drop the link below. You can go to my website and send me an email. I'd like to hear from you. I want to know what happens when you begin to touch your husband in affectionate ways, not sexual ways, but just affectionate ways, and you treat him with kindness. I want to know how that turns out for you, okay? Men also need acceptance. Acceptance is simply, I'm not going to try to change you. It doesn't mean that you don't think he should change, because trust me, all of us, myself included, desperately need some changes. We're all a little rough around the edges. So that's not what acceptance is. Acceptance is, I am not going to try to fix you, manage you, control you, or otherwise change you. When you do that, you take away those things and you listen to what he has to say, and you just begin to enjoy him for who he is. He will actually start trying to please you. He already knows what you like and what you don't like. Every guy does. But it's interesting, when you take the pressure off and you stop trying to fix, manage, and control, he's much more likely to do the very thing that you've been hoping that he would do all along. He knows what you want. You've told him enough times, right? So back away, accept him for who he is, and see what happens, okay? I hope that helps. I look forward to hearing what results you get from this experiment. Take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of A Wise Woman's Guide to Men and Marriage. What did you think? Did the information raise more questions? Do you want to learn more? Head over to A Wise Woman's Guide for show notes and links to the resources mentioned in this episode at awisewomansguide.com.